This man has never knocked nobody out cold. He's a bully. He's slow. He has no skill, no footwork. He's awkward. And I haven't even given him a name. Because he fights. When he's fighting, if you ever watch him in the ring, he drags like that after his opponent. and how's the mummy gonna catch me?
And all I had to do was to go out and beat for a man who had no skill, no class. Seriously, the man had no skill. I don't know why the world is so foolish to believe in him and think that I wasn't going to win.
Well, when you say you're ready to go to war right now...
I see that barrel in the street, I beat him before the fight.
You'd actually take him on before the fight?
Beat him like I'm his daddy.
Basketball players out there, football players, they want to beat so bad, they want to get everybody. I'll go to Mars, I don't care.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of Lights Out Debates, where we dare you to debate and we debate each other all the time. And this is an interesting one today. So as you say, the topic is for our very first debate is, it's probably saw on the thumbnail, we have who is greater, continuing the who is greater series between Charles Barkley and Dennis Rodman. And so we initially had a challenger for Dart, who is on a hot streak himself right now. He's getting it rolling right now. So, but that individual decided he didn't want the smoke. He did not want any part of the orchid here. And he fluffed out, and nobody was trying to step into the ring and get this. So, I have a scheduled debate also with Herm. We'll see if that happens today or tomorrow. But I could not let such a great debate go unfulfilled. So it falls to your boy, the Avenger T Perfect, to take up the mantle and also do this debate. So I'll be arguing for Mr. Barkley, the round mound of rebound, and Dart will be going it out for Dennis Rodman. So, I mean, hey, you know what? We have in the comments there, Ismail, you know what? This would appear to be, but Dart has faced some long odds before, as far as the some of the people he's argued for, and a lot of the times he's come out on top. So we cannot underestimate it, right? It's all about who has a better argument, not what you see on paper. But I'm with you, and I'll try to do my best. But yeah, so Dart's scaring people off, and you know what? That just means more fun for us, right? So, again, our panel of judges. But before we talk about how late our judges are and how we love them, but also wish they were punctual. How do you feel today, Dart?
I feel great. Haven't been sleeping. I've been just searching for more whales and sharks to kill, but it seems like you're the only one that seems to survive and come back. So everyone else have just been looking, just been on the hunt for NBA debates. And we got King's Speech backstage coming in now.
It is. There it
No,
is.
but I feel good. I feel good. This is, I think most people would consider an uphill battle, but I'm gonna make a great argument of why Dennis Rodman is greater than Charles Barkley. I'm gonna give some good evidence. hopefully I get the win. I think that a lot of people may lean on their bias, like it's already been discussed within the by Ishmael here, who I did defeat in a Bob Cousy versus Steph Curry debate, mind you.
Oh, I remember
Anyway,
that.
Shout out to Rex. Rex is here. What's up, Rex, in the comments? How you doing, guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
Rex-
man, how's it going?
what's up, bro? Rex was here an hour ago, so
Yeah,
maybe he's here now.
What's in?
Early bird.
Ro, did you by any chance get a hold of your boy?
So I sent the text. I will give him a call in about half an hour. Again, I tell you, he I think he was up late, and I'll give him a call I'll give him a call in a minute. Should I call him now? Because
Sure.
well, wait.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
all right. Let me call him. Let me give him a call. Hold it real quick.
All right. So that being said, guys, we have obviously we give them a minute to gather themselves, but hey, the show must go on, and a lot of times we've defacted to if we have this the one judge, we'll send it to you fine people in the chat. But yeah, hey, you know what? It's like I said, it's not what you think is greater on paper or whatnot. It's all about the argument. Who's more convincing? And that's what we're really judging these days, right? Because a lot of these debates we've had have been lopsided. I mean, if you talk about the people that were debated before on paper, right? But that's not always who comes out on top. So, we'll do that. But we have one of our esteemed judges here, and if anyone else shows up, great. However, we'll probably just give it a couple more minutes, and then we will kick this one off. Who do you guys in the chat have winning? Not the player, but put your bets on. We'll put a link. We'll put a link in the chat or a poll in the chat rather. See who do you think is going to win and who did win. So should be a good one. And then we'll see what happens if our other contestants show up for the debate that we have scheduled. So we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get no answer. I texted him this morning, and then I didn't get no answer. Just when I called, it's early. It's West Coast. Y'all on the West Coast. Me, it's noontime here, but it's the West Coast is 9, and some people that's
yeah. On Saturday, we get it. But anyway, and obviously, you might have to be the solo guy here. Obviously, we kick in the chat, but we don't. The show must go on. Doesn't wait for any man. I messaged our usual suspect casual and Herb. They're not here at the moment, but we'll see.
Yeah, and they Central Time Zone, so it's 11 o'clock daytime. I don't
But I mean, that being said, Dart, if you're ready and I am too, we can get this thing going, maybe.
Yes, I don't remember who's going to go first this time. Did you go first? I don't remember.
I think it's your turn, Dart.
To go first?
Yeah, I think it is.
Alrighty.
Cool.
All right, Ro, I'm going to bring you backstage, and then I'm going to get this going.
Let's do it.
All right, so thank you for having me. First, Dennis Rodman is greater than Charles Barkley. It's defined as the ability, quality, or eminence considerably above the normal average. In all of these aspects, Dennis Rodman is more convictive evidence than Charles Barkley is a greater basketball player due to his dominance during his career, especially when you put it holistically together. And that means to be commanding, controlling, or prevailing over all others. And it's the easiest way to distinguish all-time greats against each other of how they're represented through all of time. So Dennis Rodman is more eminent than Charles Barkley. Eminence meaning a position of prominence or superiority. It applies to Dennis Rodman with his on-court awards, his reputation. And Dennis Rodman was, just to start it off, Dennis Rodman was a member of the widely accepted greatest team of all time of the 96 Bulls as its bona fide rebounder, one of its greatest defenders on the team. He's also regarded as one of the greatest rebounders of all time, in some circles, the greatest rebounder of all time. Arguably the most important skill for team success in basketball, to get possessions and then be able to have the opportunity to score. This comes off of a late start in serious organized basketball. He never played at the varsity level in high school, and he started playing college basketball at the age of 21. He was known for his tenacity while playing on defense, diving for loose balls and doing the little things to disrupt the opponent's offense and help his team win basketball games. He'd get into opponents' heads, he'd poke them, he'd jab them, and it would help him get the wins for the teams. I'm going to get that in the further rounds about how dominant he was there in comparison. Dennis Rodman was awarded 10 all-team NBA awards, meaning across all of defense and the All-NBA, compared to Barkley's 11, which were only All-NBA teams. In comparison, for first teams between those two, Rodman had a total of 6 compared to Barkley's 5. To make this clear, the first team award represents the considered best player by position for the season. And Dennis Rodman, holistically, more specifically defensively, had more of that. Also, Dennis Rodman's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, tied for 3rd all-time, being one of 10 players to ever do that. Charles Barkley won the MVP award once, a great award, an honorable award, arguably the top one for an individual, but it's not in higher realm of all time in comparison to getting that. And Barkley was never in top consideration for Defensive Player of the Year, while in comparison, Rodman received top MVP votes during 4 separate seasons. And then also Dennis Rodman was a 2-sport athlete. He was a professional wrestler with Hulk Hogan. And this is all separated from the eminence he has from his individual ability and quality, and I'll discuss that in my future rounds. Dennis Rodman had greater eminence than Charles Barkley. And just to bring it back, he was with the greatest professional wrestler of all time.
All right, guys. So this is, I'm not going to really hold back this time, and we usually try to be polite, but this is objectively a very one-sided match. Okay, Charles Barkley isn't just a better player than Dennis Rodman in any way you want to look at it. He checks far more of the greatness boxes, and that's what an objectively superior basketball player looks at. That's what we're arguing today. Who is greater? And again, when we talk about objectively, it means things you can't deny, things that aren't opinion, right? Barkley was a much more dominant scorer. He was virtually on par as a rebounder, only 2 behind Rodman all time. He led the league in offensive rebounds 3 times. He was a much better playmaker objectively, okay? An efficient offensive engine, a franchise centerpiece, which Dennis Rodman never was. And, of course, as Mike Point mentioned, he was an MVP who carried teams deep into the postseason. Now, with that being said, I'm definitely not saying that either of these guys, just like Dennis Rodman, we're going to break down the help he had, which is significant. Charles Barkley, obviously, like anyone else who has success, obviously had his share of help, right? He played with guys like Maurice Cheeks, like Cliff Robinson in his Philly days, Dr. J for a couple of years. He was there. He had guys like Danny Ainge, Sabalas, Kevin Johnson. Later on, he obviously, the names. He, played in a couple years with Houston, with Pippen and Olajuwon. So, no, he was definitely not a one-man band, and I'm not ever saying that. But when you evaluate the greatness, again, objectively with his production, versatility, impact, responsibility, and ability to elevate a team, Barkley wins virtually every category except the one we talked about, which is rebounding. And I'm not saying he was a better defender either, okay? But he scored more, created more. He was great defensively. He impacted the game on both ends and did it without the luxury of playing alongside multiple Hall of Fame defenders and all-time scorers in their prime. Rodman had that luxury his entire career, okay? Rodman excelled in the lane. Barkley dominated the highway, to put it succinctly, okay? Now, this is about who's objectively greater. And we look at the full picture, it's Barkley by a mile. Production, 22 points per game career average. Rodman, 7. Barkley had 9 seasons averaging 20-plus points per game. Rodman never averaged more than 11. And he did it only one time. Okay, and efficiency, he's better. He's more efficient than Dennis Rodman, 54%. Playmaking, he blows him away. Assists per game, 3.9 to 1.8. And advanced metrics, he's better. Higher PER. Rodman's below the league average of 15 with 14.6. Barkley destroys him in win shares, again, total and box plus minus. Okay, now that's just again measuring not only advanced metrics, but standard metrics too. And he gets wonderful value as well.
Yeah, that's the thing with Dennis Rodman. He was not a stat for stat guy. He is arguably one of the greatest team players of all time. And yes, he had a lot of great players on his team, but if you look at him individually for his win-loss record, I'll get into the specifics of that. It explains it. And you keep saying the word objectively. You did bring stats as evidence, but just saying it's objective doesn't mean it is. I want to hear it. I want to hear your case. And what are the greatest boxes? I define them on my side of the argument. And Rodman was a greater team player. And again, I'm going to give evidence for that. And versatility, Rodman didn't even have to rely on scoring or impact to win games, often having many 20-point or 20 rebound games where he didn't even score, affecting the winning on his team. He didn't have to be the traditional scorer. I don't even know what the lane versus the highway is on a separate thing. And offensive rebounding is not a total of the top 5 major stat categories. But Dennis Rodman had greater ability than Charles Barkley. Ability meaning the talent, skill, or proficiency in a particular area. And he particularly did that as a rebounder and with his defensive play and his rebounding. He's widely, his prowess across the NBA was widely known as the greatest rebounder of his time, who he played with Charles Barkley at the same time. And that led to his superior team success in comparison, which I'll get into in the following round. But Rodman was also known to be able to guard positions 1 through 5, switching frequently between the perimeter and post defense against teams' greatest players. And some of Rodman's greatest regular season games include the talk about his versatility and his capability. He had a 32 rebound and 8-point game against the Dallas Mavericks in 1994. He had an 18-point, 27 rebound and 5 assist game against the Orlando Magic in 1992 against guys like Dennis Scott and Terry Catledge. And then in 1996 against the 76ers, he had a 10-point, 21 rebound, 10 assist game against Clarence Weatherspoon. And then also for his career high regular season, this is all regular season games, he had a 32-point and 21 rebound game in 1989 against the Warriors, against Chris Mullin and Manute Bol. And then Rodman won a total of 7 rebounding titles, all in a row, having him second all-time between Wilt Chamberlain. That's dominance, and that's what makes somebody great across all time. Charles Barkley only has 1. For high stats across their career, Rodman had 14 games having over 27 rebounds compared to Barkley's 2. And then also Rodman had 5 30-point rebound games compared to Barkley's 1, even though he was called the round mound of rebound. And then additionally, Dennis Rodman is the leader in all-time regular season offensive rebounding percentage for those advanced stats, all-time, all career, dominating everyone in NBA history in that regard. Rodman simply had greater ability than Barkley in dominance.
All right, guys. So virtually my opponent is just emphasizing what I laid out in round 1. And I admitted, I said Dennis Rodman was a fantastic rebounder, fantastic defender, better than Barkley in both counts. But that's not even being debated. But again, that's all he came with. And he just basically repeated himself from round 1. But there's nothing else to bring. Dennis Rodman was a great piece you could plug in to already great teams, and you had success that way. But when you're talking about greatness, again, you're talking about, especially when you're comparing 2 players, you're talking about, again, it's much more than just one side of the ball. Barkley was great at virtually everything, like we talked about. He was the best player on every team he played for, aside from his rookie year. He won the MVP, absolutely. Rodman wasn't even fully starting until season 5. Okay? Now, again, Barkley generated offense for himself and others. We talked about his playmaking. We talked about his assists. All of which things he beat Dennis Rodman. He had greater responsibility than Rodman ever had. That counts. And yeah, he tried to dismiss my definitions of objectively, but at the same time, you can't. Objectively means things we can see and compare and are documented in real time. The stats, most of which favor Barkley. The overall resume, he has the MVP. He again has more All-NBA teams as well. We went over that. He has an objectively better resume than Dennis Rodman. Okay, he was the better scorer. He was a far better two-way player. Those are things you cannot deny. Okay, he was the cornerstone of franchises. Again, as we mentioned, Dennis Rodman was a great piece. Okay, we talked about the stats. They all favor, again, especially advanced metrics. They all favor Charles Barkley. Okay, it's not close there. Rodman benefited from playing with elite defenders his entire career. That's why you see he had success. Okay, if we're talking rings. Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, 5-time All-Defensive guy. DPO, Bill Laimbeer, one of the best elite post defenders ever. He played with David Robinson, 8-time All-Defensive player and a DPOY winner. Avery Johnson. And then he was cut from that Spurs team. Okay. Chicago Bulls. He played with obviously Jordan and Pippen, who combined for 6 All-NBA defensive teams while he was there. Okay. And this is a Bulls team that was already stacked defensively from basically the last 5 years, also where they won 3 titles. Okay. The fact is, again, Dennis Rodman was playing with, he was, again, a great piece of whatever team he was on. Okay. Basically his whole career. Obviously, there was exceptions, a couple of years of the Lakers where, he's just riding out. But yes, he contributed on one side of the ball. Okay. But he doesn't sniff success or anything like that when you plug him into a team where he has to be something that Charles Barkley was. Like the best player on offense, your best rebounder, your best defender, your best playmaker. Charles Barkley had to be all those things, and he was.
So half the battle is defense, which I think Rodman was considerably better than Barkley. And then Rodman also was an offensive contributor, particularly with the offensive rebound, again with possessions on offense, getting that back, being able to get the second chance points and pass it out for the team to get their second chance points. And then Barkley was not the leader on his team for his whole career, which you're trying to, maybe he didn't say that specifically, but it was only about 8 to 10 seasons out of his, I believe, 16 seasons that he played in the NBA. And I didn't repeat myself from round one. I brought specifics and evidence. I talked about dominance with rebounding titles and specifics in regular season games. And then you're making claims that his success was only because he played with great defenders. Not to put words in your mouth, but I see some lanes about how defense wins championships, and that's more important for outputs. And Rodman was an all-time fantastic defender, and he won 2 Defensive Player of the Years. Again, I already brought that up. And Rodman was traded to the Bulls. He wasn't cut. But thanks to the debate, Dennis Rodman was a better quality player than Charles Barkley. Quality is the degree to which an object or entity satisfies a specified set of attributes. And Dennis Rodman helped his team get to many championships. And I'm going to describe how he did that. So Dennis Rodman won 5 NBA championships compared to Charles Barkley's none. Although Rodman was never considered the bona fide star on his team as a linchpin on separate championship teams he was part of, 2 of them. And Rodman was one of minimal players. I only found 2. I couldn't find a specific answer to win multiple championships on multiple teams. The only other guy I could find was Robert Horry, where Rodman won with 3 championships and 2 with the Bulls and Pistons respectively. That is a feat that you have to acknowledge the greatness, even if they're not the star, arguably making him one of the greatest team players of all time. For a career win-loss record, Dennis Rodman had a .698 win percentage with a .636 and .275 record. Comparison to Barkley's .658 to .415, a 61% win record. That's 8% difference. And then Dennis Rodman is the most winningest player in playoff history in respect to or with playoff wins percentage, for players who played over 100 games was 68.6%. Charles Barkley had a 50%. Dennis Rodman had many dominant playoff series too, particularly within 1996. Sean Kemp argued that Dennis Rodman was the guy that won. In Game 2, he secured 20 rebounds, 11 offensive, and then in the series Game 6, he grabbed 19 rebounds, 11 offensive, and then 1998 1990 against the Bulls, Piston Rodman ignited a comeback, getting 10 offensive rebounds in that game. But overall, Dennis Rodman had greater ability, quality, and eminence. Combining them together over his career makes him a greater player, more dominant player than Charles Barkley.
Well, guys, again, it was just more of the same here. Like, again, we just keep coming back to how great of a rebounder and defender Dennis Rodman was. There's really no other food on that plate. And again, I actually cut that out by admitting that in the first one. And just saying, again, just because he was slightly better at these things than, a far better objectively all-around player than Charles Barkley, that doesn't add to the argument. Okay, quality player? No. Again, you can't compare a guy who was objectively one of the worst offensive players of all time and a great defender as someone who was the cornerstone of teams that were good, that did make deep postseason runs, right? He says that Charles Barkley was only the best player on his team for about 8 years. That's objectively false. Again, the only time he wasn't the best player on his team, you could argue a couple of years in Houston. But again, look at his entire career. Again, a laughably bad take. Okay, and again, the stats back that up. The advanced metrics back up what I'm saying. everything. And again, when we're talking about, again, objective greatness, all right, we've went over the stats. They favor, and again, my opponent admits this. The stats, the regular stats, they favor Charles Barkley except for rebounding. Okay, we talk about when you talk about total resume, they favor Barkley. When you talk about advanced metrics, they favor Barkley. When you talk about who was objectively more, again, had more responsibility on every team, virtually every year they played, that again, objectively, was Charles Barkley. I don't want to, again, yes, everybody has teams they play with, great teams, defenders, yes. No man is an island, especially in the NBA. It's a team game. But when you look at who was expected to produce on both ends of her net, who couldn't, who had to be the best rebounder, who had to be the best scorer, who had to be the best low post defender all the time for most years in his career, that was Charles Barkley. Okay, I recognize that he played with Hakeem, Pippen later on. Yes, those guys were obviously better defenders than him, even in their late primes. But Barkley contributed, right? And for the vast majority of his career, he had to be those things. Dennis Rodman came into a system, went to different systems that, again, expected him to just be what he was, a great defender, a great rebounder. He didn't have to worry about bailing his team out when they were down by 20, bringing them back, doing the things that Joe Dumars did, that Scottie Pippen was doing, that Michael Jordan was doing, Hakeem Olajuwon, who all shouldered much heavier loads than Dennis Rodman every single night. Now, this is not to actually go to town and just debase Rodman, because I don't want to do that. But Rodman's a fantastic player. He was very impactful. No one's trying to take that away. When you're talking about the greater argument, again, you cannot make a greater argument when it's just this lopsided of a take, this lopsided, right? When you talk about one player who was better at everything except for one category and that showed up every single night, right? He was the best player in the league. He finished top 5 in DPOY in MVP 4 times. Rodman never did. Okay, Herm, you witnessed that, and apparently you'll be the one and only deciding voice here today. So everyone else is snowed in or whatever. But what'd you have to say, man? Rose dead too.
Oh, yeah, Ro, are you there?
Hey, what up, guys? Yeah, I heard the debate. It was a good one. It was an interesting one. It was a David versus Goliath matchup in terms of the subject matter. And hey, shout out to Dart. Dart gave it a good try. He was creative. I like the two-sport professional wrestler dig. I mean, again, Barkley did fight against had an MMA fight against a professional wrestler in Shaq. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Can you say he's a 2-4 star? But yeah, no, this was a pretty good debate. At the end of it, Dart did make a lot of good points. I think Travis had a lot of good counters, and that was Travis's advantage being the counterpuncher here. I'm going to give it 3-0 to Travis. I think his rounds. I think with because I like to look at the argument that you're building, right? And a lot of it is, the award count and things like that, and basically saying that Rodman was a superior rebounder and defender. Which he was. I mean, I guess he was a superior defender and rebounder. But the question is, how good was the defender and rebound? Well, the Barkley was very comparable in both aspects. And the rebounds, you could see Travis made the point of saying, yeah, he was only like 2 rebounds a game, or 1 rebound a game in a lot of those years behind. Overall, I think he's like 1 rebound a game behind for his career. He made that point. But the tricky part is the defense. And how do you quantify defense, right? Barkley does have a reputation of being a poor defender, but I think that's a little bit overblown. And Rodman being a great defender, yes, but how do you quantify it? And then when you bring up the offensive impact, the fact that Barkley was the centerpiece of defense, I think pretty much what it came down to is a lot of the things. I wanted to hear more about Rodman's real impact on teams, like how did teams get better with him on it. I think Travis made the point of, hey, Rodman found himself on good teams, that doesn't mean he necessarily made them 10, 15, 20 games better. Like Barkley could have conceivably made his teams. So yeah, but I mean the MVP thing pretty much showed like Rodman was never going to win MVP. He was never going to be All NBA defense. I mean All NBA All NBA, where Barkley could have made some All NBA defense, but he did. He was the rebounding numbers and the three-time leading the league in offensive rebounds. That was a good point to make. Travis Dart did counter by saying, offensive rebounds is the only part of rebounding, but yeah, I mean it was a 3-0. I just got a
3-0. Well, hey, your boy will take it. It's hard to get one against Dart, the whale, but today was I think maybe some too low-hanging fruit, but I feel like it was a fantastic debate, and I feel like Dart came with it as he usually does. But what do you think there, Dart?
Oh, I think Ro's a little bit biased on this because there were two times that you said an incorrect thing, which was that not you, Ro, but what Travis said. Travis said at the end that Barkley was a defensive player of the year and MVP. That never happened.
I didn't think it was DPOI. I said he was MVP. I said he finished MVP voting 4 times in a row.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either. But I mean,
I thought you said and DPOI 4 times in a row. I thought that was the last thing you said. Rodman did not get cut from the team. He got traded ultimately. So that was incorrect.
Because he was traded.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand. People like offense, even though defense is half the game. And I think that Dennis Rodman was considerably better. I gave evidence of his dominant stats, how winning he was, the all-time winningest playoff guy in percentage. Hey, I mean, if that's
a good point,
those kind of things aren't enough without putting it over the edge, then it is what it is.
Which is a good point, but then you got to. Is this what I'm saying? It's like when you play next to Michael Jordan, when you play on the Bad Boys, when you play next to Robinson. I mean, how much credit does he get for that? And
he was on all those teams, and nobody else did that. That's why he is the guy is the guy. He is the guy. He's not. It's not a what if situation. It's a fact.
So I'll ask you this question, Dart.
Travis is saying, talking about objectivity, that is an objective statement. That is a fact.
That's true. But I ask you this question, Dart, and you know me. Would you have used that argument against Tim Duncan? Because technically, he has a greater playoff record. Because you said he has the greatest playoff record of all time. Would you have used that same argument?
No, I said he had the highest winningest percentage for somebody who's played over 100 games in the playoffs, which is a fact.
Yeah, yes, I know that's a fact. And again,
Dart, I would have used that against. Yes, I would have used it against Tim Duncan if it was Dennis Rodman versus Tim Duncan.
So you think that? See, this is my point. Do you think that would have hit as hard? That same point that you made, you think it would have hit as hard with Tim Duncan, knowing that Tim Duncan is the best player offensively and defensively on his team, where Rodman is probably the best player defensively on his teams?
What's your point? Where this is,
again, when you say I know it's a good point. It's a good point to make, but then there's got to be a error of subjectivity, right? Yes. Rodman was great defensively, and again, you would have to then quantify how much his defense led to the success. If you would have said, okay, yeah, the Pistons really didn't take off until they made that lineup change, right? The Pistons actually got much better by making by benching McGuire and putting Rodman in, and they were actually able to take off to another level. That would have kind of accentuated that point, meaning that yes, his defense was so great that it took a team up levels. But obviously, with a Tim Duncan, him being his two-way greatness, and that's what I'm saying. Then you use it like, Rodman had a greater playoff record. Well, again, Duncan's record not being better than Barkley's, but still being lower than Rodman's. Like just saying that he has the greatest playoff record of all time, you have to quantify how valuable. It's almost like the win shares argument or something like that.
I did quantify it. I said that he was the only player, along with Robert Horry, that I could find that won multiple titles on multiple teams. There's
Got
another way to support that evidence. But it's
That's
all right.
that's good. That's a good point.
I did bring that up, but it's okay.
And I get it. I get it, and that's what I'm saying. Then Robert Ory actually hurts your point because we all know that Robert Ory on most of those other teams, or other than Houston, had a role player, 7th, 8th man type impact. Which is again important, but it doesn't mean that you're greater than would you use Robert Ory that same? I guess if you had a Robert Ory versus Chris Webber debate, come on, this is what at the end of the day we got to remember we're debating which player was greater, and that's pretty much
Well, the question is, Ro, do you think Shy will show up to get the smoke?
I hope so, because I'm kind of doing some. I'm pretty much ready to go. I just want to get some numbers because bro never uses numbers, right? So I actually want to inundate you guys with a lot of numbers to prove my point. And a lot of numbers, a lot of bare bone numbers. Now
just so the people are refreshed, this is theoretically, guys, going to be a debate about if I have this right, was has LeBron's Lakers stint been a success?
Has it been objectively successful?
Yeah,
that leaves a lot open to interpretation. So both of us, because a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on that. Mm-hmm. So that would leave a lot of So I'm both of us have to really say what objectively do you think is successful for a Lakers stint?
If he happens, otherwise, haven't heard from Herm and them. I mean, people just need to be punctual. But either way.
Yeah, man, I got to tell it, man. It's funny because you guys are on the West Coast. Dart is in Hawaii, and you guys are early birds, and we're like in the middle of our day, and I'm still lagging behind. I got a day. Every weekend at 12 o'clock, it's my house becomes Grand Central Station, man. And if anybody been in New York, Grand Central Station is a very busy. Yeah,
it really is. Well, yeah. Really, tell YouTube to stop making the stream lag for me. And Dakota says that.
Man, I heard YouTube was down yesterday, was it?
I don't know. I wasn't.
I don't know. I was on TikTok. I don't know. YouTube was down for a minute. What was the world coming to? She said Twitch sucks. I'm like, well, I just do Twitch because I probably got one people watching on Twitch. I really. I need to start making it.
Daddy Mac says early way on. He says Lakers stint successful by GOAT standards, absolutely not. By average player standards, kind of, sort of, maybe. I mean, what's your? I guess quick take on that. Dart, do you think it has been successful overall?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
So I guess we're just giving a quick take here. While I guess we hope Shay shows up. But do you think LeBron's Lakers stint has been, because I guess that's what they're going to try to debate, has been successful to this point?
Taking the Lakers stint by itself, removing LeBron from the rest of his career, I just want clarity on the question. That's all.
Yeah, no, exclusively the Lakers stint.
Okay, if he never played for another team, would that make his stint on the Lakers make him the GOAT, or is that the question, or just?
No, the question is so just take these last 7 years, 8 years.
This is year 8.
Year 8,
and so 7 are complete. We got 47 games. So this, based on what you project the Lakers to be. And again, obviously, the Lakers could get Giannis or Austin Reeves and a pair of Jeannie Buss's panties and go on to win a championship, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. So conceivably, because the Lakers are front runners in the Giannis sweepstakes. They could get LeBron, Luka, and Giannis on the same team and go and beat OKC in 4 games, and then beat the Knicks or the Pistons in 4 games, or the Celtics, because the Celtics are good too, right? And then this would be the greatest LeBron James era ever. But I don't want to.
What do you think, Art? I mean, it's
I'm not entirely sure exactly what the question is, but do I think he has been successful in the Lakers? Yes, he's won a championship, went to conference finals. I mean, that's better than a lot of people all time anyway. Just by that self with the playoff runs and the deep playoff runs. So, yeah, I think he did well in totality in his career. This year seems that he's going on a downward trajectory. I think that it's obviously not the pinnacle of his career, his Lakers years, or at least the last 6 years or so. But point of it was it a great run? Yeah, if you win a championship, it's an all-time great run, no matter if you want to be critical of the Miami Heat team. So you can't. That's a fact. If you win the championship, you were the best team that year, in respect to the situation and circumstances.
Can I break some news? Can I break some news here? I know when y'all were debating, this popped up on my ticker. Paul George has been suspended for 25 games due to violating the anti-drug policy. Yeah, so that's a big bummer for the Sixers. He actually was kind of halfway earning his money this year. So that's why.
Well, Dart, aircraft carrier agrees with you. I agree. I kind of agree too.
So and again, look. So
LeBron. I just want to add real fast. LeBron is corny, but I don't think you can take away what he did, even though he's extremely corny.
Now, I'm glad you answered that way, Dart. And again, I want to leave this open to interpretation to be fair, because I'm not just trying to stack the deck, right?
Yeah.
But the question is, was LeBron's stint with the Lakers objectively successful? And you just answered from a one player, LeBron. I mean, like, again, remember this franchise is the Lakers. So the Lakers, right, have a bit of an expectation in there, and obviously they've wanted to. They're like the Yankees. They're like the Dallas Cowboys are terrible, but they're like the Patriots at some point, right? There's a certain history and there's a certain way. So again, there's a lot of things that I want to. I think I want Shai to make his point, and I want to make my points about whether this has been objectively a success. Because there's going to be a lot of variables based on things like Well, again, I don't want to preview too much. Let's see if Shai comes up here. If he does, if he doesn't, I mean, will we have a stand-in? Will we might have a stand-in? Is Herm in the building?
So Herm just messaged me.
LeBron for 100 days, but it's funny because he's a undercover LeBron fanboy. He is a undercover down low LeBron fanboy, but he's cooking LeBron for 100 days like Ticket did. It's funny.
Well, it's good. It's good when you can cook all you can cook. But Herm just messaged me and said, asked if we can move his and I debate to next Saturday, which is fine with me. That's fine. That's cool. That's fine, man. Give me a little bit more time to prepare since I had a kind of a double-headed debate plan. That'll work out just perfectly. But apparently LeBron makes me look like Mike Lowry. Hey, I'll take it. Let's go.
You mean Mike Lowry, Will Smith? Mike Lowry. Damn, speaking. Well, this is sports related. They killed off John Sally in the third one, bro. Like, what the fuck? So they unalived.
I mentioned John Sally. I almost did.
They unalived him. Well, I know. I'll tell you this. Wait. Speaking of objective, John Sally, the same John Sally that predicted the 21 to 22 Lakers to win 75 games, and that team won 33 games. That's not an objective success, just to let you know. Just to let you know.
That's what that clown.
When you have a former NBA player and current analyst, I know somebody pays them to talk, predict the team to win 75 games, and they win 42 games less.
Well, that's what that clown Kendrick Perkins said too, right? He was like, "What? We get Luka? This is gonna be like a 76-win team."
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying, and that's where again, for the Brooklyn Nets. One. I mean, again, and I don't want to lay it out there. I don't want to, whoever's judging, I don't want to float the water already. But yeah, for the Brooklyn Nets, one a bubble in a cup in a conference finals, that would have been nice, but not for the Los Angeles. So objectively, we're gonna bring in a lot of factors. We're gonna bring in a lot of context, because that's what it is. Context matters. Context definitely matters. Shout out to Jersey Yay, Jack. What up, bro?
Yep. And I have a feeling I'm gonna down the road probably argue with some people for Dennis Rodman. So I'm gonna go back and take a lot of the great points that Dart made and formulate my own thing for backup purposes.
By the way, speaking of Bad Boys 3, right? Because we were talking a little Bad Boys in there. Shout out to the son-in-law, right? Martin's son-in-law. That was a badass scene. Y'all see Bad Boys 3?
Oh God, dude.
No one saw Bad Boys 3?
No, dude.
No.
Well, damn. That's so. What I
Sorry, man.
so y'all did. So yeah. I guess I saw if you did want to see it. Now, it was actually a pretty good movie.
Let me know if it's on streaming at some point.
Yeah. But that was the son-in-law. He had a badass scene, and he was a U.S. Marine. So shout out to the U.S. Marine, the son-in-law. If you remember, for the first season, right? In the second season, he married Martin's daughter, and the second one, he married Martin's daughter. The third one, yeah, he had to put his military stuff into action, bro. Like it was.
Nice. He took
Bad Boys for Life. Yeah, that was yeah. You see, shout out to Rap God.
That was more like, I mean, I actually enjoyed the first couple movies. I mean, it was obviously they're like over the top, but whatever, they're entertaining.
You know what it is, bro? Movies now are so crazy, especially since the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Movies are to actually see a good one that you enjoy in the theaters, man. I mean, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was better. Put it this way, it was better than I expected. I went to go to my little cousin, my favorite cousin. Was her birthday, and we all got together and watched it. So I said, okay.
All right. Is this Ish? Who are you, sir? Welcome.
This is Ishmael. What's up, Travis?
What's up, Ishmael? What's going on, man?
Hey, man.
Salute. What do you think of the debate?
I think Dart has a very creative way of trying to debate any player throughout NBA history. To debate even just like. I think it was very tough for him. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta give him his props. I thought it was silly, like looking at it from my perspective in the first place, but he did do a good job in trying to debate Dennis. But I think like you won 3-0.
Well, that's been Dart's MO, right? Like he'll accept debates that, like I said, on paper maybe aren't the most equal, but he'll do a fantastic job of bringing points and context and examples, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he has a great way of being able to get people to go on his side. Maybe because he can be articulate and he's good at arguing for his sake. But just sometimes there's just so much that you can debate a person where the evidence points to the other player. Largely. So like there's nothing you can do there on that. So it kind of, to me, from what I heard, it just, a lot of the points just became regurgitated. I think if he did some certain basketball plays, like in round 2, like certain plays that Charles Barkley had lacked in, that Dennis Rodman was able to do, I would have gave him a round. But he didn't really do that. He kind of used team wins as a means to justify Rodman being better, just because he was a part of like the '96 Bulls or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's really hard to argue like role players against franchise players that's been franchise players for a large portion of their career, and say like, I'm better than you just because I'm a better rebounder or slightly better rebounder and I'm a better defender.
This would be a great debate.
Well, we agree.
If y'all would have debated, I think it would have been equal if y'all would have debated who was the better rebounder. Then Travis would have had the uphill battle. But I actually
that was a way uphill battle.
And it's funny. Okay, so if you want to know my personal opinion, I think Barkley was a better rebounder than Rodman. Put it this way: Barkley out rebounded him and head-to-head battle.
This conversation is going sideways now.
Yeah, it's going sideways. Okay, Barkley out rebounding them head to head. Now, I get it. Hold on. Barkley out rebounding them head to head. Now, if it's fair to bring up that Barkley that he has a much better playoff record than Barkley, right? Well, yeah, then it's fair to because I wouldn't hide it. Barkley has a better rebounding head to head, but he does it in more minutes. Still, he has a better rebounding record head to head. In the head to head battles, Barkley out rebounded Rodman. But here's what I'm gonna tell you. Barkley, I think it's a lot harder to rebound when you are asked to score as well. Rodman actually never averaged a double-double. So when his scoring went down, his rebounding went up. Barkley averaged double-doubles almost every year. So objectively,
the real question is, Ish, when are you gonna throw your hat in the ring and get up on some debates, bro?
I wouldn't mind. Depends what it is. I haven't even been
you come
watching.
hey Ish, find a subject you want to debate. One of us will take it, bro. That's how I go. I know y'all. I know in that. I know back in Discord, y'all debate every day. But we can bring it over here, man.
I hardly been on there. I posted something the other day.
As I said, because I know I got a lot of critics over there. A lot of people still calling me out for my judgment, and shout out 30 and shout out to Perm and all these guys. But hey, bring it. Hey, this is what we do. We want content, guys. So if you got something you want to debate, so I'm calling out Shy. I want to debate whether this LeBron James era, if it's going to be over, if we assume it's going to be over, has it been objectively successful? So. Again, nothing is out of bounds. We can debate who's the better owner, Genie Bus or Dr. Bus. I don't know.
So here's but yeah, it's like anything you want to think of. Like we have series, obviously, that we've been debating on. Like you just heard one of them. Dart and I were debating the greatest series. That was the first one. Herm and I were supposed to today. We're doing it next week now. The greater playoff meltdown series. Ro and I were doing who were the greater teams to not win rings comparison, things like that. But anything you want and bring it up, message me specifically probably, and I will set that up for sure, man, for sure.
Okay, yeah, I think I got something. I think I can think of something.
Okay.
Check my stuff and all that.
I know one thing. We got to get this timing thing going. But I know this is you got time slots where y'all been doing shows for the longest, and I've always been a fan. Back when it was just your Saturday and all that, and the Sunday lives. But we're just trying to keep it interesting, keep it educational. You know what I mean? I think we're one of the most. I haven't seen any more educational sports programming on YouTube. To be honest. I like stuff where I learn. I like to learn.
Yeah, I hear you.
Shout out to Rex. Rex has taught me a lot too, man. Rex in the comments, he's taught me a lot. We can always learn, bro.
Dart is a teacher of the ways too.
Yes.
Dave Bing versus Magic Johnson.
Dave Bing.
Shout out to Dave Bing. Hey, I learned a lot about the 77 Blazers, man.
What about Chris Paul versus Magic Johnson?
I learned a lot about the 77 Blazers. Dart was a professor on that one. He schooled Travis.
What about Kevin Durant versus Larry Bird?
Ooh, that's a good one. See, you know what I'm saying?
I would take Larry Bird over Kevin Durant.
Bro, y'all realize there's a million of debate discussions that can be had, and yet you know the one that drives the algorithm. That guy versus
exactly.
the 223. You know what I'm saying? And come on, bro, you do it.
We'll have to live out Jordan and I mean, but we've been just for instance, you've been here. We've just been doing some more obscure debates, but requires a little bit more nuance than just hey, I have Michael Jordan. Oh, I have Shaq. Or somebody. So, as you saw today, great debate. Two not, probably not even top 30 players. Who knows? But we'll do it again. So, let's see here. I did tell your boy King Shay, but he is not responding. I did tell him one.
Before I saw him in a TikTok live this morning. I got up early. I could have sworn it was either last night or this morning. I saw him in a TikTok live, so I know he's around. Should I hit him on TikTok? Yeah, as soon as I go to TikTok, it knocks me out this stream. So
Well, I
I'll
was saying
be
that
back.
because I don't want to keep everyone here, but like if he might be a while, maybe like if you want to do it on your show, I'll
Let
go
me hold on. So this is what I can do. So I'll know he's around. I'll peek in on the TikTok live. I'll pick on it because I follow him on TikTok. So if he's in a live, it'll show, right? And then I'll like remind him, hey, bro, you're wanted on YouTube, bro.
Hilly says
King Shy is known to duck. King Shy is known to duck, bro. You know how that you know he's part of that crew, and that crew, you know that you well know how that crew gets down. I will give King Shy out of that crew. He's the one that will pull up, and he's not that. He'll pull up by himself. He'll pull up in enemy territory without the wolf pack with him. You know what I'm saying? So, let me just look on TikTok real quick. Go ahead.
Bro, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry, I'm making a joke. Just I don't have the tone for it. We only talk basketball here, but let me talk for 2 hours about an individual that has nothing to do with professional basketball. That's my show. But we have to lead off. We only talk basketball here.
Well, you inferred that wrestling was a professional sport, so
it is. It's in the name, professional wrestling.
Hey, he was an MMA fighter. First of all, Shaq has a lot more wrestling experience than Rodman. And Barkley had an MMA fight. Took his big ass down. So Barkley is a 2-sport star as well.
Yeah, he plays golf too, right? Come on.
Oh yeah, golf. Yes, golf. Well, they play. What didn't he play Jeremy Roenick for like with Jordan for like a half in a hand or something like that?
What I'm disappointed in, Dart, is you didn't mention at all that Rodman smashed Prime Carmen Electra.
You're right. I should have brought all that up. And Jeannie Buss. And
Madonna.
And Madonna.
Yeah, that wins right there.
That up. That's all relevant for eminence.
That's greatness.
It is greatness. But you left meat on the bone with the multiple sports athlete that Charles Barkley was. There's too much meat on the bone you left there.
Professional beer drinker, like extraordinary, 100%.
Yeah.
Him and Shaq. Yeah. God. You're right, Rex. He did train with Bruce Lee. They were in the movie together, right? Where they fought. That was a great movie.
This is a great debate.
Off the court. Oh, I don't know. I think Will's body count's higher, but Rodman was definitely the freak, right?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Rodman is probably the more of the freak.
Yeah. Was it Enter the Dragon or Return of the Dragon where he fought Kareem? I always forget, but great movie. That being said, I think I'm not getting a response there. Then they might debate over on Rose's platform there today, Dart. But
another debate coming up.
Yeah, we had a couple scheduled for today, but Herm said something came up, and he asked me if we could reschedule it next week, and so that him and I will be doing that, and then obviously we'll get a couple others one lined up there, but today King Shay was supposed to debate Roe right about now on whether or not LeBron's Lakers stint was a success or not so far. So. But he has not.
Yeah, and I just looked at right. I had to see a AI video of a snow stuff.
Who was taking the side of LeBron's Lakers was successful? Who was doing
so Roe was actually debating that this has been the most successful stint of any team in NBA history.
What?
Okay, so the question is, what's LeBron James Laker has LeBron, and again, assuming LeBron James tenure ends this season, has the Lakers has the tenure, an 8-year tenure been an objective success.
What's the standard? What's the standard of like to
That's
say?
what you okay. So it's an open-ended question, right? So now, Shy is taking the affirmative. I'm taking the negative. Understand? The question is LeBron. Okay, so the statement is LeBron James 8 years have been successful objectively, but in with the Lakers, for the Lakers or with the Lakers, whatever you want to, however you want to word it.
Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. Really fast, didn't mean to do that, but Dart, I do have to book it this time, and I'm going to communicate with Herm. But great debate, guys. Ish, thanks for joining. I'll bring Ro back up here in a second. Just had to get that in. I do have to run at this point, but we'll be back with more debates next weekend, guys, for sure. Dart, I'm not sure if you wanted to carry on a little bit, but I have to go at this point. But you guys are awesome.
Yeah, I got to go. But
all right, guys, you everybody take care.
So, yeah, so since we do have a no show, and yeah, I probably need to go too. So, I was willing to stay, but yeah, since he's not here, hey, watch out for when we gonna do the next debunk, Trav.
I'm gonna do one tomorrow, man. Tomorrow morning.
All right, let's get it. Also, me and 93 Zay should be going live. Knicks versus Lakers tomorrow, 7:00 Eastern, 4:00 Pacific. We should be going live.
There's the Lakers.
Definitely.
But yeah, obviously, Dart, we'll figure out what's going on, and we'll collab. And everyone else, thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed the debate today. And we will see you. Ish, you got to message me, man, because we got to get you in the smoke too. Okay, we'll do it.
Sure, no problem.
Absolutely. All right, guys. But
all right,
you guys take off. Have a great day.
We'll sign off, guys. All right.